Hello, my name is Jeff Kiger. I'm the owner and operator of Northwest Log Home Care, and today we're here to illustrate the proper technique of staining a log home. The products we're going to be using today are manufactured by Perma-Chink Systems. The first coat being Lifeline Ultra 7 one-coat stain. It's a very environmentally friendly product, followed by the application of Lifeline Advanced, the gloss formula, which will further protect the integrity and the lifespan of the stain. One of the most important things, particularly first thing in the morning after the pail's been sitting overnight, you want to make sure you stir the stain and stir it several times during the day. The primary reason is the pigments in the stain are a lot heavier than some of the other ingredients, and they're going to tend to sink to the bottom if the pail's been stagnant for quite some time. And if you're going to be using an airless sprayer, it's going to be sucking up the stain from the bottom of the pail where the pigments are settling and the stain is a little bit darker. Therefore, if you don't stir it occasionally, a portion of the house is going to stain a little bit darker than the other areas. Properly mixed, we're going to proceed to the next step, to applying the stain on the house. The most important thing when using an airless sprayer is to make sure you excessively backbrush to make sure you get good penetration of the stain into the wood. Nice, long, consistent, even strokes will help eliminate any brush lines, adding aesthetics to the house along with the protection that you're putting on your home. If you happen to have to stop in the middle of the wall with your stain, make sure you feather it out so that you don't have an abrupt ending to the stain. If that were to dry, it's very, very difficult to blend that in with a new stain. Also keep in mind, unlike paint, which always dries a shade darker when it cures, semi-transparent log stains are always going to dry just a little bit lighter. Keep that in consideration when you choose the color that you want for your house. When blending in new stain to stain that you've recently applied, what I like to do is apply the stain several inches from where you left off. The reason being, if you were to apply the stain right here where you left off, by the time you get done back brushing it in to blend it in, you're going to have more stain here where you've previously stained, leaving a blotchy lap mark in the middle of the wall when it dries. Again, nice, even, consistent strokes to blend in the new stain with the old stain so you don't get the lap marks. So you have a nice, clean, uniform finish of color once the stain cures. We're continuing to blend in the stain. It's always best when applying stain to bring it to a termination or ending point, whether it be a window or a door or the end of a log, as opposed to stopping in the middle of a log with the stain. Here, of course, we're going to bring it all the way to the window. And again, blend it in so it's nice and even, so that it doesn't dry with any unsightly lap marks. The amount of time that you have to work with while backbrushing depends on how heavy the stain's applied, but more importantly, the humidity and the temperature. If it happens to be 70, 80 degrees on dry wood, you're going to have a lot less work time to blend it in. Here, it's in the high 40s, which is a sufficient temperature in which to stain, so you have a little bit more work time before it tacks up. Now that the stain is applied, we're going to proceed to the next step, which is applying the Lifeline Advanced, the clear coat gloss finish that will protect the stain. The final step in protecting your log home is to apply Lifeline Advanced, the clear coat finish. We're using the gloss formula today, which is also available in the satin finish. The clear coat is going to help add some water protection, help keeping the logs drier. It's going to help keep the house a little bit cleaner. When it does get dirty with dust and pollens in the air, it can be hosed down a lot easier with a slick surface of the clear coat finish. It's applied in the same manner that the stain is. The only difference is quite a bit thinner. The logs are already sealed, so the surface is a lot smoother. You don't want to over apply it, otherwise you're going to spend a lot of time back brushing the drips. It can be sprayed. I'm just choosing to use a brush today. The square footage that you're going to get out of a gallon varies tremendously on the temperature, the type of wood, and other factors. It goes on white, and it's going to turn into a pinkish hue. That color is going to dissipate probably in about an hour or so, and it's going to end up with a very clear coat, pristine finish. The most important thing when applying the Lifeline Advance, you need to make sure that the stain is 100% dry. If there's any moisture still in the stain, once you apply the Lifeline Advance to the stain, you can run into some challenges that you'd rather avoid. Make sure the stain is perfectly dry. You're not as overly concerned with the lap marks with the clear coat because it is going to dry clear. The other thing to remember, if the temperature happens to be near 40 degrees, you probably don't want to apply the finish late in the day, 4 or 5 o'clock, because the temperature may drop down into the lower mid-30s before it has a chance to dry. Depending on the temperature and the humidity, it could take anywhere from several hours to dry to the touch on a nice sunny 70-degree day. Today we're in the high 40s. It's going to dry to the touch probably in a couple hours. This stain was applied yesterday, assuring enough time has passed to apply the clear coat finish.